Hello everyone, how are you today? In previous video we explaining the lesson, what is geometry? In this video we are going to explain angles. I will start by explaining the lesson quickly to save time. Before we start I will give you an important idea about lines. There are shapes for lines. Line. You can call it a line when there is no starting point and no end point. Semiline or ray. It has starting point and no end point. Segment. It has starting point and ending point. From this you notice that you can know the measurement of it. If you have those two lines intersect each other by one point, it make angle. This angle can be with any measurement. Each measurement have angle type. To read angle, the important point is intersection point, named by vertex. When you name angle, always put vertex point on center and put above it this shape. Example, let's name this angle. The vertex here is M, so put M on center and put above it this shape. Here have point A and here B, so this angle name is AMB. Of course you ask yourself what is the type of angles and how we can draw any angle. Let's explain this well and take example. So let's get started. To draw an angle XOY of 180 degree, mark a point O. Draw a ray, OX. Place the 0 mark of the protractor on ray, OX, and the center of the protractor on O. The 180 degree is here. Mark a point at 180 degree. Draw the ray, OY, passing through this point. We finally have the straight line. When the angle is greater than 90 degree, but less than 180 degree. In other words, it is between 90 degree and 180 degree. So now we are talking about the obtuse angle. For example, if x or y equals 130 degree, then we do the same previous steps with a change in degrees. The 130 degree is here. Mark a point at 130 degree. We finally draw the ray, OY, that passes through this point in a cinematic way, by moving the OY, like a clockwise. When two straight lines intersect each other at 90 degree, or are perpendicular to each other at the intersection, they form the right angle. Then we do the same previous steps, with looking for a place of 90 degrees. The 90 degree is here. Mark a point at 90 degree. We finally draw the ray, OY, that passes through this point, in the same cinematic way, by moving the OY, like a clockwise. A right angle is represented by this symbol. When the angle is greater than 0 degree, but less than 90 degree. In other words, it is between 0 degree and 90 degree. So now we are talking about the acute angle. For example, if x or y equals 60 degree, then we do the same previous steps, with a change in degrees. The 60 degree is here. Mark a point at 60 degree. We finally draw the ray, OY, that passes through this point, also by moving the ray, OY, like a clockwise. Finally, an angle that does not form a vertex, or measure 0 degrees is called a zero angle. I mean the vertex is a common point, and two intersecting rays connected at the common point are coincided or merged with each other pointing towards the same direction. This interpretation is important, but you won't see any use of it this particular year. Oh my God, I'm so sad. If you are still having difficulty after this detailed explanation of angles, follow with us to solve some question. But before we begin to solve the question, this is the most important words that were mentioned in the explanation along with their translation into Arabic, because our goal is to convey knowledge to the entire world. Exercise 1. Draw the following angles. ABC equals 65 degree. First you must put a vertex point. It is B since it is in center and have this shape above it. Now draw semiline BA. Place the center of the protractor on B. The 65 degree is here. Mark a point at 65 degree. We finally draw the semiline BC that passes through this point. IJK equal 156 degree. First you must put a vertex point. It is J since it is in center and have this shape above it. Now draw semiline JA. Place the center of the protractor on J. The 156 degree is here. Mark a point at 156 degree. We finally draw the semiline JK that passes through this point. FGH equal 10 degree. First you must put a vertex point. It is G since it is in center and have this shape above it. Now draw semiline GF. Place the center of the protractor on G. The 10 degree is here. Mark a point at 10 degree. We finally draw the semiline GH that passes through this point. Exercise 2. Name the following angles. The vertex is O, so put O in center and put above it this shape. You have C and D, so put C and D. Finally, this angle reads COD. The vertex is L, so put L in center and put above it this shape. You have S and X, so put S and X. Finally, this angle reads SLX. The vertex is H, so put H in center and put above it this shape. You have L and M, so put L and M. Finally, this angle reads LHM. Exercise 3. What is the type of the following angles? Straight angle since angle equal to 180 degree. Acute angle since 34 is less than 90 and greater than 0. Right angle since angle equal 90. Zero angle since angle equal 0. Obtuse angle since 91 greater than 90 and less than 180. I am very happy that you have reached the end of solving the questions. This is summary of this lesson. You should know that reviewing the video is very useful, and practicing solving the questions is very important to memorize the form and logic of the information. Good luck, friends. In the next video we will explain quadrilateral